Are you in a New Year slump? We'll talk about that more in just a moment. First of all, let me say hello and welcome to the daily voiceover huddle. We do it every weekday at this time on this channel. And thanks so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Subscribe, like, share the videos with other voiceover talent that you want to help to inspire along the way. Also, on Fridays, this is our Q&A day, so I always try to grab a few questions. The way I do that is for everybody who makes a comment in the live chat. I hope you do, by the way. Just let me know where you're watching or listening from. If you, in addition to that, if you want to add a question in there, I'll try to grab a few of those as time permits here at the end, and I'll do a bit of a roll call here after we're done with our get together, our huddle, our topic for today. Have you ever noticed, and I know you have, the beginning of every year, it happens without fail. The parking lots of gymnasiums across America, and I'm sure across Europe and other continents and countries, are packed. Why? Because one of the things that most people think about when they think about New Year's resolutions is they want to get in shape, they want to lose weight, they want to get strong, they want to get healthy, they want to, maybe they have goals of being a triathlete or whatever the case may be, but all of these goals point them towards the gym. And so on January 2nd, they're highly motivated to get that membership and they go there and, it's amazing. Everybody's excited. They have this vision of what they want to be. Place is packed. And then shortly after about this time, this is about the time, from 1 to 2 weeks from now, capacity packed parking lots will begin to dwindle down to about 3/4 full, half full. And then by end of February, there'll be a few scattered cars here or there. It'll be back to business as usual. It's the New Year slump. And it's the result of not being mentally prepared to go through the things that you need to do to get to where you want to go. In other words, it's exciting to think about. And if I could achieve these goals, whether, physical, financial, relational, whatever they are, it's exciting, when you have that envisioned future. But when you get into the thick of it, it's not so exciting anymore. And the work is not, I'll be honest with you, it's rewarding, but it's not always very exciting. As a matter of fact, it can be downright discouraging because when you get serious about something and you begin to do the work, a lot of times, you're just not, you don't know what you don't know yet. And there's a lot of learning that goes on there. And B, you're going to get smacked around a lot. Anytime that we decide to do something that's out of our comfort zone that requires us to learn and stretch, we're going to get, smacked around a bit. And it's not pleasant. It doesn't feel good. But what we have to get, and this is the thing you have to ingrain into your mind, is that if you anticipate the toughness that's required to get to where you want to go, that's why you really have to count the cost beforehand. Otherwise, you become like one of the millions of others that after 3, 4, 5 weeks say, ugh, forget it. I'm going back to the couch and I'm going to watch TV and eat bonbons or whatever the case may be. And we've all been there, and we've all, fallen off the wagon, and we got discouraged and said, oh my gosh. But now's the time to re-resolve to the things that you committed to do. Because here's the thing, if you follow this channel, you know the stuff you need to be doing. It's not a matter of ignorance, like you don't know, and maybe you're brand new to this and you don't know. And if that's the case, great, you're at the right place. Over 1,300 videos on this channel to help you along the way. And if you want more extensive, deeper dive resources and help and coaching, I've got links below in the description. But or can easily learn the things that you need to do. What's not so easy is doing those things. And just take comfort in knowing it's not you, it's all of us. We all have to deal with that. But what it comes down to is the choice that we make. And here's the reality. Ultimately, you've got to look within yourself, because the wherewithal, the determination, the resolve, it doesn't come. You can come to a channel like this and maybe get a little bit of motivation, learn some things, which is great. But ultimately, it's on you. It is on you, and it's on me to do the things that we need to do to make it happen. Not always exciting. The grind, the dip, not always exciting. As a matter of fact, it can be downright frustrating. It can make you question everything that you've decided to do. But if you hang in there, and here's the thing, most people, that's where they fall. That's where they bail. They're like, okay, that was a bad choice because this is painful. No, pain is required to get to where you want to go. So for those who tough it out, if you watch those cars in the parking lots of the gyms, those cars that hang around February, and you check again in March and April, and they're still there. Now, all of a sudden, these folks are starting to see the results of what they put in January when it was so painful and when it hurt so much, when they were questioning everything they had decided to do. Well, by March, April, May, and then summer rolls around, they are feeling good. They are looking good. They are addicted to going to the gym. They cannot wait to go back in for their next workout because they can't believe how great it makes them feel. But if you expect to feel great right out of the gate all the way through the process, then you're delusional. It just doesn't work that way. But that's okay. It's just time to readjust your thinking. Embrace the frustration, embrace the pain, embrace the stuff that it takes through to get where you need to go. And what will happen is good things will happen. You'll get excited about it. You get to the place where you can't wait to come back into the studio every day because you paid the price and you walk through the frustration. It happens in people wanting to get fit and healthy. It happens to people who start businesses all the time. Relationships all the time. Most people bail. The people who hang around are the ones who reap the rewards. All right, let's see what we got going on in the live stream and if we have any questions. Aaron was first on this morning. Congrats, Aaron. Bill in Idaho, how you doing? Hey, Rob, good morning. Melissa in San Diego. Mike in Matawan, New Jersey. You have a great weekend as well. A couple of inches of snow in Loveland, still coming down gently. It's gorgeous there. Professor Tracy in Minnesota says, stay warm. Emma in Huntington Beach, Amy in Altoona, Pennsylvania, Phil in Tokyo, Dave in New York City. We've got a Buckeye from Ohio checking in this morning, OH. Amanda says, good morning from snowy Westchester, PA. Corey in Wisconsin, Sandra in Dallas. Mike in Spanish Fort, Alabama. We've got, Holland is in the house this morning. Good to have you here this morning. Denise, how are you doing on Long Island? Dale in windy Atlanta. Nathan, good morning to you. Thank you. Jolie, thank you very much. Yes, I'm slowly but surely, I'm shaking off the aftermath of COVID, but it is going far more slowly than I would like, but that, it is what it is. Jason says, snow day in St. Louis, time to prepare for voiceover and retirement. Yes, indeed. We've got Ashley in the UK. Hey, Ashley. What's up? Gary in Lebanon, Tennessee. Rebecca in Michigan. So far, I have not gone a day without recording since doing VO full time. So blessed. Rebecca, that's good news. And and Rebecca's in my voiceover blueprint training. And Rebecca has been doing the hard work for the past several years. She's been doing the hard work to get there. And I know it hasn't been easy all the time. And I'm willing to bet if we had a conversation where you could listen in with Rebecca right now, she would tell you there were times she considered quitting. I don't recall you ever hearing you say that, but I'm almost certain because that's the way it is when you grow something, when you build something. But I'm so glad you stuck it out. Way to go, Rebecca. Mark, Estes Park, Colorado. Winter's Day is every day. Dennis in Pasadena. Yeah, and thanks for that reminder to everybody to thumbs up the video. Appreciate it. It encourages YouTube to share this video with more people. The more subscribers, the more likes, the more shares, all that kind of stuff. YouTube starts thinking, well, maybe this is a worthwhile video, and they start sharing it with more people. John in Memphis, staying home from work to hear good information and the slick roads. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, John. Amy says there is nothing exciting about exercise. No, there's not. It's the results that are exciting, but the results don't come immediately, is what makes it such a challenge. Miss Johnny, how are you doing in Houston? Resolutions don't work. Personal revolutions work. Ooh, that's deeper. I like that. That's why Coach Bill's VO Revolution worked for me. David, thanks. Thank you. Love that. Marlene says, good morning to you from from California. I'm going to work out in my gym, or should I say my office/booth. There you go, Marlene. Hey, Tim and Altoona, never a slump when it comes to marketing. And Tim's another great example. He was just sharing in our private group of our voiceover blueprint students about sticking in, doing the hard work, and reaping some really awesome things now as a result. And he likened it to sowing and harvesting, and that's the perfect analogy. It's the perfect metaphor. You're sowing seeds. When you sow seeds, you don't see the results right away. As a matter of fact, you might get exhausted from sowing the seeds. You probably will get exhausted. But boy, when those seeds start to break through and you start to see some production from them, that's when things get amazing. Anthony in Phoenix got my first VO scam email this week. Well, welcome to the club, Anthony. A game show host read where they said they'd rent a studio in my area. I got the same one this week, and I've gotten that same one probably 3 or 4 times over the years. And usually that they pay $850. Every time I've received this offer is they pay $850 and they want you to go to a local studio. It's yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wayne in Port Orchard, Washington, how you doing? Jared in Wisconsin. Glad to be finished. My first audiobook, had my first coaching lesson yesterday. Fantastic. John says, "Thank you, Bill. This is what I needed to hear. Have been struggling." Yeah, thanks for saying that, John. My guess is most people are. This is not an you know, and it's not just the voiceover stuff. It's the time of year. The days are short. It's cold. In many places, it's snowy and you can't get out, and it starts to, play with your head a little bit. And there's kind of is it the Valley of the Dark Night? Like February, I think especially, at least to me, is the most difficult emotionally to work through, and that can make it even more difficult, to keep with your resolutions. Tess in Tequila, Georgia, how you doing? Ashley says today, the 19th, is known as Quitter's Day because it's now when people really start to feel just how hard it is to chase their goals and tend to fall off the wagon of progress. Ashley, I did not realize that today. Maybe I guess it was good. Whatever it was, I just sensed that now is the time to talk about this. So it's good to have that confirmed that today is the official day when people really start to feel like quitting. Gene in Dallas Fort Worth. If you can get past slump day, Ashley says you're more likely to succeed. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yes, there's a great book called The Dip. I watched a video the other day with another marketing guy. He was talking about the cycle of people who really want to have a business, and it was a great. I wish I had I don't have the link to share with you, but he was just showing how, and he was drawing, a line. People get excited and then they start, and then it's what was the phrase that he used? The idea basically, it's uninformed ignorance. I mean, you don't know. You don't know anything about it except you wanna do it. You just don't know anything. And so that curve starts to go down because you get depressed and it's difficult and you're learning and you're trying to figure it out, and you hit the very bottom where you think, "Wow, this was like the worst thing ever," because you just can't make anything work right. And that's where people bail out, and then they go look for something else. They go through the same thing, they get excited, and then as they get into it, it's like they realize they don't know anything about it at all, or it's a ton of work and way more difficult than they thought it would be. And they hit the bottom, it's like, well, this is not going to work. And then they move on to the next thing. But the few people who succeed are the people is when they get to the bottom, they realize, okay, if I can hang in here a little bit longer and I can start to take what I've learned and use it and keep learning and just endure the pain a bit longer, what happens? Well, now all of a sudden you become informed, and now you start to understand, and you can begin to execute, and you can start to get results, and then the curve starts to go back up again. Most people never make it through that curve. It's emotionally hard to. Oh boy, before I started preaching, where was I at here? Let me scroll back. When marketing on LinkedIn, Amanda asks, do you do the same as Google and search for video producers, etc.? Yeah, if you excuse me, sorry. If you're marketing on LinkedIn, you want to find the people who would hire somebody like you, which would be content creators, primarily video producers. It could be marketing firms, could be instructional designers, people who create e-learning. Yeah, those would be good categories to search after. Jason says, are there copyright issues using current commercials to transcribe or use as a video background for a demo? No, no. Fair use. Don't use it for profit. Don't go out and sell it. But to use like a portion of a commercial as an example, I do it. Hundreds, thousands of people do it. I've never heard of anybody ever having an issue with that. Wally says the decision to succeed has been made. Enough said. More snow in Annapolis, Maryland. All right. Cameron, hello to you in the Seattle area. Sandra, Worthington, Ohio. No slump right now. 3 books in the works. Sandra, awesome on that up curve. Megan says, good morning, everyone from Manitoba. Chad in Newfoundland. Hey, Chad, welcome. Oh, let's see here. Submitted a few dump VOs to an internet radio station a few days ago. The owner loved what I sent, then struggled yesterday to get something I like to send as follow-up. Then struggled to get something I like to send as follow-up. So sound like maybe you're having some technical difficulties. I hope you're able to iron those out. Just keep at it. Jess in Austin. Anthony says, yep, it was an $850 scam job he was offered. If you ever see $850, look carefully. For some reason, that seems to be their favorite number. Jolie says, I hate exercise, so I took up belly dancing. It's fun, beautiful, and hard work. Well, Jolie, that's great. If you find something you enjoy, it makes it simpler, I'm sure. That's awesome. Definitely needed to hear this today. Thank you. Jason says, great to be here on the live stream in Kearney, Nebraska, loving the new year and all the new business. That's awesome. Hey, Theo, what's up? Good morning from downtown Chicago, where it's gray and cold outside, but Friday makes it warm and sunny in my heart. Yes, indeed. It does me as well. Rebecca says, you inspired me to move forward what inspired me to move forward was when I heard you mention today is the best day to plant a tree or something like that. That spoke to me and gave me the courage to move. Rebecca, thanks for sharing that. That's, I vaguely remember saying something like that in one of my coaching webinars for the blueprint. But it's so true. And it's funny how sometimes something will grab us. It might just be a word, a phrase, a simple message. But today is the best day. And I heard that. I didn't make that up, by the way. I heard somebody else say that. But the best day to plant a tree is today. Because tomorrow's going to roll. Tomorrow's going to roll around. Next year will come. A decade will roll around and come, regardless of whether you do it or not. The question is, what do you want to be there a year from now, 10 years from now? So today is the best day to plant a tree. Thanks for mentioning that, Rebecca. Chad says, stuck in the loop of researching and thinking of where to start. Any tips? Yes, start. I know I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm serious. This is the number one thing. You look at it, you think about it, you contemplate it. And if you're not sure how to start, go to BillDeweeseLive.com. Well, I've got links and training resources below that'll walk you through those early steps. But there are 3 or 4 things you need to be focusing on primarily when you first get started. Getting your recording space set up, getting your demo, doing some initial marketing. But you've got to start doing it. And so check those links out and get the information you need and get going. Sandra says commitment is what's left after the first rush of excitement is over. And that's the truth. There's no lack of rush of excitement for most of us. I mean, we can muster that up. The commitment is where it does that's where the rub's at. Theo says the blueprint helps greatly in getting us past that low point in the whole business process. Yeah, thanks, Theo. I need to be I think more, I am mindful of it, but I need to be thinking about that more because it's hard to motivate people when they're first getting started. What becomes difficult, again, is this time you're a month or 2 into something and all of a sudden you realize, I don't know anything about this. What was I thinking? I've auditioned 200 times and I didn't get a job. Obviously I'm not cut out for this, which is that's a lie. That's not the truth. That doesn't mean anything. It just means A, you haven't gone far enough, and B, we need to sharpen your skills a little bit more. That's all that means. Grady in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Ithaca, New York area. First time catching the live stream. Love all of the archives. Thank you, Grady. Appreciate that. And Rusty's in the UP of Michigan. $10 to a donut. You got snow today. It's funny. I was watching the news last night, and of course, I'm here in the Chicagoland area, and there's it's like I always talk about it as a joke, but it's the truth. There's this I-94. Those of you in the Chicago, Northwest Indiana area, I-94 as you're heading east away from Chicago. and it starts to bend up around Lake Michigan and go Indiana up towards Michigan, like right there in that curve of the lake as you begin to go north towards Michigan, it seems like it's always snowing there. I joke around that even in July and August it snows. That's a bit of an exaggeration. But the point is, that is just a hot spot of lake effect snow. I looked at the news last night. They were expecting over 20 inches of snow in that area. I mean, that's just up the road from me. Now we've got a couple inches here, but 20 inches. So if you ever feel like you're just not getting enough snow, just hop on I-94, find that, where in Indiana, where it goes from going east, it starts to bend up north towards Michigan, because it's always snowing there. I mean, it is always slick. Interstate's always slick, always snowing. Guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Remember, the fact that you're frustrated right now, it's not just you. It happens with everybody. It's required to go through this process to get where you want to go. The question is, A, do you have the right information? And B, are you willing to push forward with that? Obviously, you don't want to spin your wheels doing the wrong stuff and be inefficient. That's just blowing off a lot of energy to no good. And we've got folks like Tim and Theo and Rebecca who are in the blueprint who have been commenting about how helpful it has been to be in that group, that support system, and to get the proper training to get through that tough stuff. So again, if you want to learn, I won't say any more about it, but if you want to learn more, links below in the description. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.